I came to with a weird twist in my stomach, like something was off before I even opened my eyes. My head was throbbing. Not that regular post-drinks kind of ache, but the kind that tells you something else is wrong. And then I realized CJ's hand was on my bum, and the other one was creeping somewhere it had no business being. I groaned and pushed his hand away. "Yo, CJ, chill. Mornings ain't my vibe," I muttered, voice all scratchy. "My bad," he mumbled, sounding like a kid who got caught sneaking cookies. "But wait," he started. "Didn't you say you and Mark used to hook up all night and into the next day?" I shot him a tired look. "Yeah? Back when I was 20 and dumb in love? At that age, you can survive on Zex and pizza." "Oh." His voice dropped, all disappointed. He looked like a kicked puppy, and for a second I felt a twinge of guilt. I kept thinking, was I screwing up by leaving Mark for this sweet but clingy man-child? On paper, the swap looked golden. I was walking away from a 40-year-old who spent more time with his toolbox than with me, and stepping into the arms of a 30-something who treated me like I hung the moon. Mark was all hustle and grind, stacking cash for a future he never quite let me be part of. Meanwhile, CJ lived for me, maybe a little too much. Still, Mark, he wasn't some monster. He never yelled, never raised a hand, but the man could argue like it was a sport, and any time I stood my ground, made it clear I wasn't budging, he'd just flash this smug little grin and walk away, like he thought I was being dramatic and didn't even want to bother. That's not how things are supposed to go. My mom would raise an eyebrow and my dad would jump to fix whatever needed fixing. Eventually, he learned, "You want peace. Keep the queen happy." Mark? Nah. He'd just stare at me like, "Girl, you've officially lost your damn mind." And if I really pulled the plug, cut off the Zex? He didn't beg, didn't even blink, just slid under that Mustang like she was his mistress. And that car? God, I hated that damn car. I hated what it meant. I hated that it came before me. That thing had more oil changes than I had peaks. And that's when I started noticing weird little habits, like how he kept glancing at his watch, not like he was late, more like he was waiting on something. A few days later, I found the smoking gun. There was this calendar in the kitchen, next weekend circled in red like it was Christmas, plus a bunch of tick marks leading up to it. Looked like some kind of countdown, so I went digging. Call it instinct. Women just know when something's off. And wouldn't you know it, buried in the sock drawer, always the sock drawer, I found it. A glossy brochure. Fancy looking. The kind you don't just stumble on accidentally. Some elite Vegas escort service. Cover photo was straight out of a fantasy. Gorgeous girls, barely dressed, with perfect smiles and hungry eyes. They looked like they could ruin a marriage and get paid extra for the pleasure. That alone was enough to make me see red. But what really broke me? He'd already X'd out that weekend, hours before noon. I felt like the air got knocked out of me. Rage, betrayal, heartbreak, all of it hit at once. And all I could think was, he was really gonna do this. Sneak off to Sin City, get laid by some silicone Barbie, and come back home like everything was cool? Nah, I saw the writing on the wall. If I let that trip happen, it was only a matter of time before he tossed me aside, like I was just the warm-up before the real fun started, like I was too old, too tired, too much. He'd ditch me faster than that damn Mustang hit 60, and I wasn't about to let that happen. So that night, knowing damn well where my damn bread was buttered, I walked into that bedroom like a goddamn soldier going to war. He was already in bed, scrolling on his phone, looking bored as hell, not even a glance my way. "Hey," I said, voice soft but shaking a little. He didn't answer. I stepped closer, leaning on the doorframe like I owned it, like this was my turf. "I want a screw." He didn't even blink, just said, "Nope." That was it. Like a fly, he swatted away. "Nope," I repeated, blinking, stunned. "The hell you mean nope?" "I'm not in the mood," he said, like he was ordering a burger. Didn't even look up. That crap stung more than a slap. I laughed, short, bitter. "You never in the mood lately. What's up, you get neutered or something?" Finally, he looked up. "Don't start with me tonight, all right?" "Start?" I stepped closer, arms folded. "You think this is me startin'? I've been freaking patient. It's been a goddamn week, Mark. A week." He sighed, dropped his phone on the nightstand like I was ruining his evening. "So? Go rub one out." "Excuse me?" I barked. "That what we on now? You my boyfriend or a roommate with Wi-Fi?" He just shrugged. I gritted my teeth, tried to change tactics. "Come on, baby," I purred, voice low and fake sweet. "I could, you know, take care of you." "You ain't exactly the best at that," he muttered. I blinked. My heart dropped. "What the hell did you just say?" He sat up a bit like he was finally ready to throw down. "You heard me. You treat Zex like a chore, like you're just clocking in and out. It's like, I don't know, cold." "Oh, screw you, Mark," I snapped. "You want it passionate? You want me to moan like I'm in an adult movie flick? I'll freaking do it if it means you'll stop treating me like some unwanted piece of furniture." His voice dropped. "Don't guilt trip me. You don't even touch me unless you want something." I stared at him, my chest burned. "You really believe that?" "I don't know what to believe anymore," he said, quieter now, but still hard. "Maybe in a week, if things feel different." I laughed again, hollow, shaky. "A week? You think this is punishment or some kind of dry spell therapy? You holding out for better punani or what?" He just looked at me, and I swear for a second, I saw something like guilt flash in his eyes, but it was gone just as fast. "You do you," he said, rolling back to his side. "I'm tired." That jolt of realization hit me hard, like it always did when it came to me and Mark. No matter what tricks I picked up from daytime TV, women's magazines, or even my mom's old-school advice, I could never really win with him. Somehow, he always managed to come out ahead. Now, CJ, completely different story. That man treated me like I was the second coming of Beyoncé. One word from me, and he was already halfway through doing whatever I hadn't even finished saying. He was devoted, head over heels. So why hadn't I just left Mark and gone all in with CJ? 2 solid reasons. First, whether I wanted to admit it or not, I still loved Mark. Not the way he buries himself in work like it's a religion, and definitely not the way he shoulders every damn responsibility like he's carrying the world, but something deeper, buried under the mess. I hated that about him too, honestly. He refused to get mad, refused to snap, always so calm, so composed. That made me feel like I was the only one emotionally bleeding. Second reason? Money. CJ might worship the ground I walk on and kiss my A, literally. But the guy works nights at a dive bar for tips and pocket change. He's sweet, fun, and loyal as hell, but there's no chance he could hold down the lifestyle I've built. Meanwhile, Mark, my stubborn, irritating husband, pulls in 6 figures. That's not nothing. And yeah, it wasn't always like this. Once upon a time, Mark and I were crazy in love. But 2 decades and 1,000 shouting matches later, we'd both built walls so high, I wasn't sure if either of us remembered how to climb over them. Just as I was drifting into that deep, ugly place, trying to pinpoint the moment love turned into resentment, CJ's soft hands started sliding up my legs. He was trying to comfort me, maybe turn me on a little, but honestly, all it did was make me twitchy. That used to be Mark's move, and when he did it, it set something off inside me. CJ just didn't have that effect. "Come closer," I said, almost flat. "Touch my bosoms." His face lit up like Christmas morning. He didn't hesitate, scooted in and got to work. I didn't have the heart to tell him his touch was distracting me, not turning me on. My melons, fake like my blonde highlights, didn't even have much feeling left in them after the surgery. Mark, somehow, always managed to get a reaction out of me. That man knew exactly how to play my body. Another thing I hated about him, he was just too damn good in bed. And yeah, between us, he was packing a lot more than CJ ever would. Mark could leave me breathless and boneless in minutes. And even after all this time, I still couldn't fully believe he'd never cheated. Still can't believe he loves me like he says he does. But maybe that's a good thing. Maybe it means I can always crawl back if this all blows up. Honestly, if he'd just let me run the show like he was supposed to, we could have been golden. I could have been the happiest wife on earth, and he could have been the smug fool married to the queen of his castle. But nah, he had to keep pushing my buttons. Always had to have the last word. It was CJ, of all people, who reminded me where the real power lies. One night, mid-convo, he laughed and said, "Girl in a divorce? You get everything. He's the one who ends up eating tuna out the can in his mama's basement." CJ himself was technically still living with a woman who wanted to marry him, but she wasn't it for him. And since they weren't legally hitched, he could walk away without any legal mess. Then he whispered between kisses, "That's right, baby. Today's the day. You're calling him." And boom, it hit me. The plan, the one we'd been working on for weeks, timing it perfectly. And this week, it was perfect. Mark was out of town, neck deep in some business trip. This was our shot. The thought made my stomach turn. I mean, as much as I've messed up, I'm not heartless. The man was out there working crazy hours, keeping the lights on in the house I insisted on, filling the closet with designer crap I barely wear, paying for my gym membership, my car, my wine, my everything. He deserved better than a breakup call while he was on the road. He deserved a real conversation. I should have sat down with him, laid it all out, what I felt, what wasn't working. Maybe we could have talked it through, maybe not. But that's how grown folks are supposed to do things. If it was really done, then we talk divorce, then we move on. But that's not how it went down. In over 20 years, Mark never laid a hand on me, never even raised his voice. When things got tense, he tried to meet me halfway. And honestly, that was the problem. He was too easy to steamroll, always settling, always folding. And when he couldn't compromise, he'd just give me this little smirk, like he was already one step ahead. I knew that smirk, knew exactly what it meant. You want it all? You get nothing. You want to play hardball? I'll go to Vegas. You think 40's still sexy? Let's see who else agrees. That grin said it all, and every time I saw it, I got just a little angrier, until I was boiling, until I needed more power, more freedom, more everything, and yeah, I wanted it all. So yeah, if I went through with the divorce, I'd be walking away with damn near everything. The house, mine. The furniture, the car, all the stuff I picked out, still mine. And once he hit retirement, I'd even get a cut of his pension. That's just how it works. I talked to a lawyer, got the paperwork drafted and ready, ran it by my mom, ran it by a few close friends. Every single one of them said the plan could work. But almost all of them said I shouldn't go through with it. The kicker? My mother, who's hated Mark since day one, looked me dead in the eye and said I was nuts for even thinking about leaving him. That part? That pissed me off the most. Like, seriously? After all the trash she talked about him over the years, now she wants me to stay? All it did was light a fire under me. If anything, their hesitation made me more sure I was doing the right thing. For me. The lawyer, bless his greedy little heart, didn't care what happened as long as he got paid. He cooked up a reason for the divorce that'd hold up in court. Emotional neglect. That's what we'd call it. Said Mark was married to his job, not me. Said I'd been left alone too long, ignored too often. Truth? That was a stretch. But it didn't need to be real. It just had to sound believable. And I'll admit it, part of me hated Mark for not seeing this coming, for being so caught up in his work that he didn't even notice I was slipping away. But life's messy, and if you wait too long to speak your mind, sometimes all that's left to do is burn it down and walk away. He's a grown man. He'll survive. Yeah, it'll knock the wind out of him, but he'll land on his feet. Maybe. The truth is, if I had actually sat him down and opened up, if I had laid it all out on the table, he probably would have tried to fix things. Maybe even beg me to stay. And that would have made everything harder. Sometimes you gotta blindside a man just to shake him out of his delusions. Sometimes you gotta swing first before he even sees the punch coming. That's where I was. That fight or flight moment. Either hit first or end up flat on your back wondering what the hell happened. I took a deep breath and grabbed my phone. CJ was still beside me, focused on my chest like it was his personal mission from the gods. He had no idea the nerve he was striking was already numb, but he kept going, like he was trying to push me into pulling the trigger. Out the window, I heard the rumble of some delivery truck pulling up, probably one of the neighbors getting a new couch or some fancy fridge. Regular day, regular life about to blow up. And me? I was sitting there dialing a number I knew by heart, the one tied to 2 decades of love, frustration, and silence. It was go time. It rang once. Barely hit the second ring and he picked up. That crap caught me off guard. He knew I was going to call. I could feel it. The way the silence filled up right before he said anything, it was like he'd been staring at the phone, waiting. "Mark?" I said real soft, testing the water like it was boiling. His voice snapped back, all cold and clipped. "Who the hell else would answer my phone?" That tone, like I was wasting his time just by breathing, almost made me feel better about what I was about to do. Almost. I exhaled. "Why you sound like that?" "Why the hell are you calling me?" He shot back. "Ain't like we talk. Thought you forgot I had a number." His words were sharp, but underneath that, I could hear it. That twist, that flicker of you better not be playing with me again. "I didn't forget," I said quietly. "No? Then what the hell do you want?" He barked it like he already knew the answer and hated it. There it was, that burn in my chest. Yeah, maybe he had a right to be mad. I hadn't called in years unless I wanted something. Not love, not to check on him, just money. Crap, that could be counted. I swallowed, heart in my throat. "I thought maybe we could talk, that's all." He laughed, that cold, humorless, cracked kind of laugh. "Talk? What the hell is there to talk about, huh? You need something? You broke again? Ain't had enough of my scraps?" "Damn, Mark," I flinched. "You act like I'm the freaking enemy. Aren't you?" He shot back, voice lower now. "You ain't been a wife in years, just a ghost that shows up when rent's due." I let silence fall for a second. Felt like my throat was closing up, but I pushed through it. "I'm your wife," I said slowly, like saying it would make it more true.
Man, I was right there. So damn close. I could practically see the gates to paradise. Just as I hit the edge, sweat slid down my face and dropped onto the porcelain skin of the woman below me. She let out this soft, breathy moan, yanked my head down, and smashed her lips into mine. And somehow, don't ask me how, she pulled me even deeper into her, like her whole body was wrapped in silk and heat. "Damn!" I gasped. She laughed, a sexy little giggle, and kissed me again, teasing. "Shannon, baby," I stammered. I gotta—" "You're gonna hold on just a little bit longer," she whispered, voice thick with heat. "It's gonna blow your mind if you wait." Oh God, don't stop." Each word was a rhythm pressed into me with her body. I fought like hell to keep control. Shannon had this superpower. She could get me right to the edge, make me hover there like a heartbeat away from losing it. Wild thing is, we'd only been messing around for 3 months. And then, burring. My phone lit up and the spell shattered. I lost it, hard. Like eyes rolling back, white out kind of finish. I damn near blacked out. When I looked down, Shannon was shaking all over, legs trembling, eyes rolling back like she was seeing stars. "Oh, baby. Damn, that's so good," she murmured, all breath and bliss. I swear on everything. That's how it went down. "What the hell are you trying to do to me, Shannon?" I said, phone still buzzing on the nightstand. She gave me that wicked grin. "Trying to make you happy, Mark." "I've been happy since the day I met you," she smirked. "You'll be happier when I'm done. Go on, answer it." Might be her. It wasn't. Just the moving company checking in. I'd forgotten they were supposed to call. Shannon, completely unbothered, slid her hand back between my legs, slow and teasing. My body jumped. Just like that, I was back in it. And right on cue, the phone rang again. This time, the name on the screen made my stomach twist. Yeah, it was her. I looked at Shannon. She raised her eyebrows, curious. I gave a quick nod. She just smiled that devilish smile, those green eyes twinkling like she knew a secret no one else did. When she curled up next to me, I caught my breath all over again. She was a damn masterpiece. Legs like a ballerina, because she was one. An A sculpted like some Greek statue. Tight little waist that made it pop even more. She had the kind of body that made Instagram look like amateur hour. Shannon always joked that God spent all his creative energy on her backside and didn't have much left for her chest. Didn't matter. I was hooked. Was I in love? Yeah, again. Second time in my life, and this one felt real. Felt like something new. Something reborn. Like love had burned down and come back swinging. Phoenix style. Let me rewind the tape, though. Start from the jump. 3 months earlier, I was a damn mess. Looking like a fool in love with a woman who barely liked me, let alone loved me back. We both knew it, but I was holding on, stupidly hopeful. Yeah, we argued a lot. But I figured that was just part of being married. Normal, right? Then my secretary popped into my office. "You've got a visitor," she said. I didn't expect her. Shannon strolled in, red hair catching the light, sat down like she owned the place. "What company you here from?" I asked, half distracted. She smiled cold. "I represent the You and Me Revenge League, going after the corporation of dumbasses." "Wait, what? Mark," she said, dead serious. "This is gonna hit hard. But your wife's cheating on you." I blinked, thought I misheard, but her face, stone cold truth. She dropped it like she was telling me my coffee was ready, and somehow I just knew it was real. My chest tightened, sweat beating on my forehead. My pulse went nuts. Vision started to blur, and my stomach twisted like I was gonna hurl. All I could picture was some faceless dude, arms wrapped around Anne, making her scream in ways I hadn't heard in a long time. I dropped my head on the desk, couldn't even pretend to keep it together. Then this wave of sweetness hit me. Cherry-scented perfume, warm hands lifting my head. She was stroking my hair, her voice soft like a lullaby. "I'm sorry," she said, real gentle. "I didn't expect it to hit you like this. Thought you'd flip out like I did. Thought you'd go hunt the guy down and throw hands." She sat on the edge of my desk, my head resting in her lap, stroking my hair like I was some broken thing. "You still love her, huh?" she asked. "Even though she treats you like trash, cheats on you, never says a good word, you're still in it, still loving her, even when she's laying in someone else's bed, talking about how you're the problem." "I don't get it. You give her everything. She gives you nothing. Why the hell do you still care so damn much?" Her words poured out, half to me, half to herself, like she needed to say it out loud to make sense of it. Then, a pause. "It's the blonde hair and fake melons, isn't it?" she said, kinda bitter. "CJ's the same way. Head over heels for plastic Barbies. I thought you were better." I snapped my head up, angry without knowing why. "I loved her before she went platinum," I barked. "And those Hooters? I paid for those!" She burst out laughing, this melodic, contagious laugh that made me freeze mid-rage. "What's funny?" I snapped. "I'm being serious." "I know," she said, still giggling. "It's just, your thick-skulled ex probably doesn't realize the dream girl he's lusting after was funded by her husband's wallet. Classic." I sat back, shaking my head. It was all so surreal, but underneath it all, my anger was rising. Shannon laid it all out for me one night. No filters, no holding back. She told me how they met, how Anne sucked CJ into her little web, and how the two of them cooked up this slick plan to push me out of the picture. Not just out of her life, but out with my bank account still bleeding. It was cold, calculated, brutal. Funny thing is, Shannon was caught up in something just as toxic, just a little less official. She'd been riding for CJ since day one, paying his bills, cleaning up his messes, holding him down while he played bartender and chased anything blonde with a chest big enough to throw his whole life away for. That's how he met Anne. Thought he found his dream girl. Plastic curves and a vibe that reminded him of mommy. And yeah, I paid for most of the dream. Shannon had already hired a private investigator, woman named Sarah Price, to dig up dirt on CJ. I ended up talking to Sarah myself, worked out the payment and all that. Easy enough, really. Turns out dirt on CJ was everywhere. The guy was messy. But for Shannon, all that evidence? Worthless. Sarah told her straight, since she and CJ weren't legally tied, he could walk away scot-free and leave her with nothing but heartbreak and receipts. Me, though? I had a legal connection, marriage, divorce, leverage. Sarah's tapes and files were exactly what I needed to come out the other side without getting completely gutted by Anne and her boy toy. While we were working together, watching tapes, planning moves, Shannon and I started getting close. Real close. One night, it turned into a moment neither of us expected. "Shannon, come on," I said. "You're way too good for that clown. Why are you still hanging around?" She smirked. "Screw him. I'm not the type to walk away without getting mine. No one steps on me and walks away smiling." "But you've got what you need. You caught him. Why not just move on and stop wasting energy on him? You're not stuck like I was. You're young, beautiful. You've got time to find someone who actually gives a damn about you." She turned toward me, those green eyes catching the streetlights through the windshield of my Mustang. "So you finally noticed, huh?" "Noticed what?" I asked. "Me." She grinned like she'd been holding it in forever. I noticed you the second you walked into my office. Bullshit, I said instinctively, making her laugh. You were so wrapped up in Anne, you didn't even register I was a woman, let alone one who might actually be into you. Her laugh. God, that laugh messed with me every time. She leaned back, voice soft. You know why I'm still around, right? I dropped CJ and the whole revenge fantasy weeks ago. But helping you get free? That's personal. I hate the thought of you supporting those two bloodsuckers for the rest of your damn life. We gotta find a way out of this, babe. Then she leaned in. Kissed me. No warning. I was stunned for a split second. But only a second. After 20 years married, I thought I knew what kissing was. Turns out, I only knew what Anne's kiss felt like. Shannon? She was on another level. Everything about her, the taste, the warmth, the way her lips moved, was brand new and obsessive. We forgot about the tapes, forgot about CJ, forgot about Anne. There was just this fire between us, burning up everything else. Then Sarah's voice cut through the heat. Well, damn! Called it. She stood behind us with this knowing smile. I was hoping this would happen. You two make way more sense than whatever mess you were stuck in before, honestly. Let the scammers crash and burn. People like that always get what's coming. Shannon blinked, pulled back just a little. But what about the divorce? What about our plan? Sarah just shrugged, calm as ever. You still want the revenge more than the relationship? She asked. Because this here, it's something real. If you're serious, if you want to build something out of the ashes, we can handle the rest. But think it through. I'll email the invoice. And she left us with that. The next few weeks turned into a game. Shannon and I perfected our poker faces, got real good at lying to the people who had lied to us for so long. We told them we were swamped with work. They bought it easily. Neither of them had the slightest clue Shannon and I even knew each other, let alone that we were spending night after night tangled up in each other's arms and hearts. It wasn't just some rebound fling. It turned into the kind of love that hits you like a truck. Unexpected, loud, and impossible to ignore. One afternoon, I called her while she was at work. I think I need more time with you, I said straight up. She giggled, soft and sweet. We're together like every night, dummy. Not enough. She lowered her voice to a whisper. We haven't even, slept together yet. I laughed. Yeah, I know, but I already know. It's going to be incredible. You really think so? She teased. I mean, I don't exactly have your wife's assets. I don't care about that, I said, honest as hell. What makes Zex amazing is loving the person you're with, wanting to give them everything. And then she said it. Her voice cracked, tears right there in her throat. She'd been waiting for this, maybe longer than I realized. I love you too, Mark, she whispered. And I mean that with everything I've got. You can have all of me, any part, any time. I'm yours. I didn't even know what to say. It hit different. I'd never heard something so raw and real, not even from Anne when things were good. And no, Shannon added, wiping a tear. I never said that to CJ, not once, not even close. I smiled. Wasn't worried about him. I'm just wondering, how fast can we make this real? We were rolling with Sarah's game plan step by step. And when the phone rang that morning, that was the green light. We were finally go for launch. The wild part is, I honestly started thinking the universe had a hand in all this. Like fate just kept throwing Shannon and me into the same storm, and somehow we came out standing side by side. While we were scheming behind the scenes, we made sure nobody saw us together. We kept it real low-key. But here's the funny part. People we knew on both sides kept coming up to us, dropping hints like, hey, you sure your partner isn't messing around on you? And we had to play dumb every single time. Smile, nod, act surprised. It was like being stuck in a bad rom-com written by Shakespeare after a few too many drinks. The irony? The only people who seemed remotely suspicious that we might know something were the cheaters themselves, Anne and CJ. But that was just their egos talking. They thought they were masterminds, pulling strings like they were the stars of some slick con movie. Joke was on them. Then came the business trip. Totally fake, but it sounded legit. I packed a bag, told Anne I'd be gone for a few days handling deals out of town. Around the same time, Shannon told CJ her mom got sick and she needed to go check on her. Perfect timing, like the stars lined up for once. With both of us gone, those two snakes got bold. Comfortable. That's what we needed. To let them feel safe enough to slip up. And eventually they did. that call? It was the moment we'd been waiting for. Of course, nothing ever goes perfectly. We thought they'd make their move Friday night. That was the plan. That's why I scheduled the moving truck for Sunday morning. I figured let them have their little weekend fantasy, give them a couple days to live it up before reality kicked the door in. They had no clue what was coming. Shannon and I were still riding the high of our win when my phone lit up and I picked up the call.
Listen, I gotta tell you something, I said, trying to keep it steady. And yeah, you probably ain't gonna like it, but in the long run... Oh God, he cut in, loud as hell. Don't start with the in the long run bullshit. Just say what the hell you called to say. I let out a short laugh, sharp and ugly. Couldn't help it. Nerves, maybe. Madness. Then he laughed too, right in my ear. This You laughing? I barked. You serious right now? I'm trying to talk to you like an adult. He kept chuckling. Yeah, well, this just feels like a rerun. Same script, same actress. You trying to pitch this like it's brand new. But baby, you old news. I clenched my teeth. You want to play, huh? Okay. I'm just saying, he continued, voice smug as hell. Reminds me of something I heard the other day. Somebody said to me, you'll put me on the shelf. And I said, nah, baby, I dump trash, not store it. That did it. Keep that mouth running, Mark, I growled. Keep talking slick. I will, he said smoothly. 'Cause guess what? I got some news for you too. Real soon you gon' find out. And when you do, you'll be eating dinner solo, sweetheart. What the hell are you talking about? I shot back. I don't even think this little I got something to say speech is yours, he said with a snort. This CJ's idea, huh? He tell you to call me like you're tough now? You just his mouthpiece. I froze. My stomach dropped. This witch knew. He'd heard something. Probably from those gossipy fools next door. Always sniffing around. Screw it. No running now. I'm leaving you, I said flat. No emotion, just blade. I want a divorce. He didn't gasp, didn't curse. He just laughed louder. You think I give a freak? He said. You think I ain't seen this crap coming since you started wearing makeup just to go check the damn mailbox? Mark, nah, shut the F up. That letter you sent me? Yeah, I read that sorry soap opera. Had me wondering for half a second if you grew a conscience. Then I remembered who the hell you are. My jaw locked. That letter wasn't supposed to be out. Not even CJ knew I sent that. Mark, we need to talk this through. When you get home. Ain't nothing to talk about, he cut in. When I get home? Home? Baby, you're talking about a house I already moved out of in my damn head. You keep talking like you're wise now. What's with the poetic crap? He smirked over the phone. I could hear it. Just remember, baby girl, you can look up at the stars all you want. Still can't spot the truth if your head's stuck in your own A, I snapped. Are you seriously eating right now? Mm-hmm, he mumbled through food. Dinner's good, real good. Better than the last few years with you, that's for sure. Mark, if you don't fix this, we will get divorced. And if I do? What, get a gold star and another few months of fake smiles and dead zex? Nah, too late. Way too freaking late. From the background, I heard a woman's voice, sharp, irritated. You better not be on that phone with that witch again. I blinked. Who the hell is that? Wouldn't you like to know? He said, voice all syrup and gasoline. Let's just say she don't need a damn checklist to make me feel like a man. Mark, I said, low, dangerous. You keep pushing like this and you will regret it. He laughed one last time, deep, full, shameless. I already left, baby, he said, emotionally, mentally. And tonight, I'm leaving physically too, so scream all you want. I ain't coming back. Ooh, what the hell do you mean you already left? I screamed into the phone. Out of nowhere, that gut-deep sense of doom I'd been carrying all morning blew wide open, like a damn bomb went off inside me. It was that same feeling you imagine Wile E. Coyote gets right before gravity kicks in and that giant boulder he rigged for the Roadrunner comes crashing down on him instead. I waited to hear Mark's voice on the other end of the line, but all I got was the cold, mechanical tone of a dropped call. Disconnected. I threw the phone across the bed just as CJ came sprinting into the room, eyes wide, face tight. "You need to get dressed and come downstairs, like, right now," he said, all breathless. I grabbed the nearest robe and yanked it on, tying it tight so I didn't flash anyone. I headed downstairs and froze at the bottom step. There, standing bold as hell in my living room, was a tall, imposing black woman holding a tablet, surveying the place like she was about to buy it, or already had. "Who the hell are you?" I snapped. "You need to get the hell out of my house." She glanced me over like I was a Craigslist listing she wasn't impressed with, then turned her back on me like I wasn't even worth the time. "I'm feeling generous today," she said, calm as can be. "I get that you're upset. Betrayal and loss come with baggage. But I don't do rude, and I sure as hell don't do delays. This house needs to be cleared by sundown, and I'm being nice by giving you a few minutes to gather your personal stuff." "You're joking, right?" I barked. "This is my house, mine and Mark's, almost paid off." I turned to CJ and pointed. "Call the cops." "Yes, please do," she said with a nod. "CJ, go ahead and call. That'll move this along even faster. For the record, the house isn't almost paid off. It's completely paid off. And lady, you're about to have the most embarrassing day of your life." I stood there in stunned silence as CJ pulled out his phone and dialed emergency. Time felt like it stopped, every second dragged, giving me just enough space to start piecing it together. Then I remembered something Mark said, the smug way he mentioned some victory song. That damn cryptic comment. Right then, Chief Hank K. Yep, the actual police chief, and someone who used to share beers with Mark and me, walked through the front door like he'd been personally invited to the disaster. The woman strutted right past me and handed Hank a stack of paperwork. He flipped through it, nodded a few times, then looked up and straight at me. But his eyes shifted to CJ, standing awkwardly behind me. "Is that him?" he asked. "Who?" I replied, already annoyed. "Don't get testy," he said casually. "Just wondering if that's the guy you've been cheating with. Bold move, having him lounging around in Mark's house." And that's when it hit me like a freight train. Mark sold the damn house. My brain exploded. Before I could say a word, another woman, petite, preppy, annoyingly perky, pushed her way through the movers and beelined for CJ. "Is this him?" she asked, all chirpy. She circled CJ like he was a mannequin in a store window, then turned to me with a grin that could slice glass. "Wow! People said you were dumb, but I had to see it with my own eyes." "What the hell are you talking about?" I growled. "Oh, honey," she said, almost laughing. "Half the women in town are still scratching their heads trying to figure out why you dumped a successful man for a broke boy with no job and a modest package." She winked. "You know there's a rumor going around that bosom implants mess with your brain." "Tina," the chief cut in, "try to stay focused." Then he turned to CJ and stone-faced said, "Hey man, you know what a woman says to a guy with a big old pecker?" No," CJ replied, confused. "Of course you don't," Hank shot back. Both he and the tall woman cracked up laughing, loud, mean, sharp laughs that made my skin crawl. "We good to proceed?" she asked, wiping tears from her eyes. "All good," Hank replied. "And start packing. You need to be out. Mark sold the house." "What? He can't do that!" I screamed. "This is our home. I chose him." "Yeah," Hank said flatly, "but he paid for it. It's in his name. Legally, it's his. He can do whatever the hell he wants." "This is bullshit! The woman always gets the house in a divorce." "Not always," he said, shaking his head. "Besides, you're not even divorced." "I will be," I snapped. "I'm filing first thing tomorrow." "Well, you should have filed last week," Hank said, smirking, "because that's when he sold it." "Wait, this has to be illegal." "Nope," Hank replied. "It's shady? Sure. Cold-blooded? Definitely. But illegal? Not even close." I clenched my fists. "CJ, call my lawyer now. I need to call the bank and the investment account." "Take it outside," said the tall woman with the tablet. She flicked her wrist, and suddenly her moving crew was in full swing, carrying out chairs, tables, and boxes like they were filming an HGTV speed run. "Where the hell are they taking my furniture?" I cried. "Your ex-husband donated everything to a charity auction," she replied. "Feel free to go bid on it." "I picked out every damn piece in this house, arranged it, designed it. Maybe you should have paid for it," Tina snorted. Oh, wait, that's right. Too much bleach, not enough brain cells. I blocked her out and focused on my call. I needed to get ahead of this before everything went down the drain. Carly? Hi, it's Ann Clayton. Yes, Mark's wife. Listen, my attorney will be calling you shortly. I need you to freeze our accounts now, but first, I need to move some money. Her voice came through the phone with that same chirpy energy she always had, like we were talking about brunch and not the implosion of my life. Carly, no small talk, I cut in. I need to move fast. I want enough money transferred to cover the house, bills, everything, for now. And when you guys freeze the accounts, is it just the current funds locked, or can Mark reroute his direct deposit somewhere else? It's just the existing balances that get frozen, she replied. But I'm pretty sure he already switched his payroll last week. Oh, and he quit his job. What? I gasped. What the hell did you just say? I felt the blood drain from my face. Carly, transfer everything out of our joint accounts. Right now. Move every last cent to a new account in just my name. You want all of it? She asked cautiously. Damn right I do, I snapped. Mark's a workaholic. He'll find another job before Tina finishes her chicken wings. But me? That's all I've got until this divorce is done. I'll have to write you a check and you'll need to bring it in and open the new account in person, she said. Fine. Just do it. It's done, she said a second later. When you get here, I'll have a check ready. For $3.11. What? There's $3.11 in the account, she repeated. I went cold. That can't be right. There was almost $500,000 in there. There was, she said carefully. I know there was, I hissed, my voice shaking. Yeah, he cleaned it out, Chief Hank added from across the room, like he was commenting on the weather. This has to be illegal, I said, barely above a whisper. Nope, he said casually. It's not illegal. Brutal, yes. Illegal. Not even close. He leaned back, enjoying himself. Also, your account balance dropped under $50, so you got hit with a $10 penalty fee. Technically, you're in the red now. CJ passed me my phone, and I immediately called my lawyer. Through shaky words and choking sobs, I told him everything. Mark selling the house, draining our accounts. While I talked, I logged into our investment portfolio. Gone. All of it. He liquidated everything, left one single share in a cheese company, a damn cheese company. My lawyer whistled through his teeth. That's actually kind of genius. Cold as hell, but legal. He knock you to the punch until you file? He can do whatever he wants with his assets. So what, he's gonna dump it all offshore? Move it so deep I'll never touch it? He quits his job, plays broke in court, and I walk away with nothing. Exactly, my lawyer said. No income, no assets, no payout, no strings to cut. I stared at the wall. He's not showing up to court. He's not coming back at all. He left me before I could leave him. I don't even know where he is. My lawyer went quiet. How are you gonna file if you don't know where to serve him? He asked. What about abandonment? I asked. That's gotta count for something, right? In this state? That takes 3 years, he said. You got cash to last that long? You remember when I just told you he took everything? I snapped. So no. Well, he said flatly. No money, no retainer. Click, dial tone. That's all I heard. That and the movers in the living room, quietly laughing as they hauled off my life in cardboard boxes. And just like that, everything fell apart. I had nowhere to go but back to my mom's place. Mark didn't just leave. He erased everything. The man didn't miss a detail. He either sold or gave away everything we owned. Every damn car, both Mustangs, the winter Jeep, gone. He even kept the new Lexus he gave me. Not that it mattered. I couldn't afford the payments. The repo guys came for it 2 weeks later. I tried getting legal help, went to a few free lawyers. Each one, after hearing the whole mess, gave me the same answer. What Mark did wasn't illegal. It was just brilliant. There's no law that says a man has to stick around just because he married you. No rule saying he can't sell his house if it's in his name. And the bank accounts? He opened them. So he had every right to clean them out. He played it smart. Too smart. I tried calling him, disconnected. He left me a message. I'm sure of it. I just didn't realize what it was until way too late. Weeks passed, then months. Still no word, No call. Not even a damn email. CJ didn't make it to the end of the first month. Lost his place when he couldn't pay rent. His girlfriend dumped him the same day Mark left me. Ironic, right? One random day, I was listening to the radio while folding laundry and I broke down. Out of nowhere, there was this old song, something by the Eagles. Glenn Frey was singing Already Gone. That's when it hit me like a truck. That stupid line Mark sang when he walked out? It was from that song. That was his goodbye. That was his warning shot. He planned the whole damn thing. I used to think I was living a pretty sweet life. I had everything. Didn't even realize how good it was. I thought I deserved more. Now I scrub motel bathtubs for a living, 6 days a week. My mom works with me, and every guest that checks in reminds me of the life I flushed down the drain. I used to blow more money on lipstick and designer shoes than I now make in 2 weeks. I'm 43. No real options left. And somehow, after all the scrubbing and stress, I gained weight. I don't dye my hair anymore. I don't recognize the woman in the mirror, but I do recognize the fool who lost everything. One random afternoon, I came home and spotted an envelope on the kitchen counter. No name, no signature, just an address for a quiet little cafe downtown. The handwriting? I knew it instantly. It was Mark. And just like that, everything clicked. $3.11, 3 years, 1 month, 1 week. That was the countdown. That was the message. My sentence was up. The punishment he handed me had come to an end. And damn, I wished I'd figured it out sooner. Maybe I could have dropped a few pounds, cleaned myself up, started over strong. But then I stopped myself. Mark never asked for perfection. The blonde hair and fake bosoms? That was all me. He never wanted any of that. As I was fixing my makeup and trying to smooth my hair, it hit me. The last line of that song he quoted when he walked away. We live in chains and never even realize we've got the key. He'd planned it, every move. That invitation wasn't just lunch. It was closure. It was full circle. A clean slate. I was convinced he was ready to start over. And me? I was finally ready to admit what a damn fool I'd been. I spent years sitting on my A while Mark went out and busted his behind to give me everything I asked for. The only times he pushed back were when I tried to control him. So when I tried to leave him, tried to kick him to it, he took it personal. And like always, he gave me exactly what I wanted. Just not the way I expected. He left first. The craziest part? For 3 years, I braced myself for divorce papers, waited for them to show up like a time bomb in the mail, but they never came. I think I finally understood why. Mark still loved me. I got to the cafe a little early, nerves in my throat. The place was dark, kind of old school, and mostly empty. I wasn't ready to face him yet, so I slipped into the bar next door to take the edge off. That's where I saw him. CJ, standing behind the counter looking like he'd lost a fight with a bottle of Jack. Puffy face, red eyes, sad energy. Even worse than I remembered. Damn, he said, squinting at me. You really filled out, huh? Been on a donut-only diet the last 3 years? You drunk enough to forget you've got a pencil for a pecker? I shot back. What the hell are you doing here? I work here, he muttered. What about you? I'm across the street. Got invited to lunch. Needed a drink to calm my nerves. He blinked. Wait, you got an invite too? What? Yeah, someone left me one too, he said. Did yours have some weird A riddle on it? Not really a riddle, I said. More like a message. We've come full circle. I'm ready to give you what you want. Pretty sure that was Mark's way of saying he's ready for a fresh start. Mine was different, he said. It asked, why does a squirrel hide its nuts in the nest? I gave him a blank stare. What the hell does that even mean? I figured it out, he said with confidence. Shannon wants me back. The squirrel hides his nuts to protect them. Birds. That's what Brits call women. So it's like, she doesn't want other women getting their claws on me. I rolled my eyes. That's a stretch, man. I'm serious. It's deep, he said, nodding. They planned this. Mark and Shannon made us suffer long enough to miss them, then lured us back in. I slammed my glass down. You know what? Screw this. If Mark wants me back, he can beg for it. I'm not crawling back. I've been through too much. I stormed out of the bar, head buzzing, and crossed the street to the cafe. Found a small table, sat down, heart thudding. Then I saw CJ again. He was following me, plopping down at a sidewalk table near two college kids playing hacky sack. I watched him for a second, half laughing at his dumb squirrel theory, when I realized something. He had it all wrong. I waved, trying to get his attention. He finally looked up, waved back, and shook his head like he was trying to warn me. I didn't get it. Just then, the hacky sack bounced toward his table, hit his glass, and knocked over his drink. He stood up fast, annoyed, just as one of the college guys ran over to kick the sack. The kid missed completely, but his foot nailed CJ right between the legs. CJ let out a high-pitched scream that echoed down the street. Waiters and customers ran to help. I rushed over too. No one dared touch the area. EMTs showed up a moment later. I knelt beside him. "Your answer was wrong," I whispered. He groaned. "Huh?" "The squirrel doesn't protect its nuts from birds," I said. "It hides them. Like, your junk." CJ blinked, gasping in pain. "That means what exactly?" "She doesn't want you back, CJ. She wanted to make sure your nuts were taken off the market." He winced. Man, not a damn thing makes sense anymore. Before I could even get a word out, this tall, polished-looking girl stepped into view. She couldn't have been older than 21, looked like she just walked out of some sorority house, all glowing skin and perfect posture. Real blonde, too. Not that bottled bleach job I used to pay for. She was rocking this tight pencil skirt, carrying a briefcase, and casually smacking her gum like she owned the sidewalk. "You Anna Clayton?" she asked, voice sharp. "Yeah," I shot back, already annoyed. Without another word, she shoved a thick stack of papers into my hands. "What the hell is this?" I asked, flipping through the pages. "His terms," she said, snapping her gum again. "Ask him yourself." Then she leaned in a little. "You've been served." I looked up, and that's when I saw him. Mark. Sitting just inside the cafe like he'd been there the whole time. Calm, collected, watching, and suddenly the full circle thing made sense. It wasn't about some romantic reunion. It wasn't about starting over. It meant I was finally getting exactly what I asked for. When I told him I wanted out, when I pushed for divorce, he gave it to me. The thing was, it just wasn't what I wanted anymore. What I really missed wasn't the money, the car, or the house. Somewhere along the way, I got used to going without that stuff. What I missed, what hurt, was him, the life we built, the way he looked at me back when we still believed in each other. And now here he was. Except, he wasn't mine anymore. He looked good, better than I remembered, healthier, lighter, happier. But he wasn't alone. Next to him sat a stunning redhead, bright curls, flawless skin, and very, very pregnant. Sitting between them was a little girl holding both their hands. She had Mark's thick brown hair and her mom's green eyes. And when she looked up at me, she gave me this tiny half smile, this knowing little smirk that looked way too familiar. It was his smirk. Genetics, maybe. Or maybe she understood the moment better than I did. I stood there frozen, gripping the divorce papers. It was over. Like, really over. Whatever string I was still holding on to had been cut. Mark had moved on, body and soul. That redhead beside him? She wasn't letting go of that man. She gave him love, loyalty, and now a whole new family. She had everything I threw away. I glanced down at the documents. He'd filed on grounds of abandonment, which meant he kept it all. His money, his freedom, his peace. I walked into that courtroom thinking I'd take him to the cleaners, get the money and lose the man. Turns out I got neither. I looked up one more time, hoping to catch just one last glimpse of the life I used to have. But the table was empty, he was gone, and all I had left were my regrets, and a whole lot of tears I couldn't stop from falling.